When money is exchanged for a product over a counter, the physical movement of the item triggers a specific legal transformation. In India, these interactions are governed by the Sale of Goods Act, 1930, which provides the statutory framework for every transaction involving movable property. The Act defines goods as all movable items, including shares, growing crops, and grass. It excludes the money used for payment and actionable claims, such as debts. Under this Act, physical possession and legal ownership are distinct. A buyer can hold an item without owning it, and a seller can retain ownership of an item they have already handed over. This distinction is formalized as the difference between delivery, the transfer of physical possession, and property, the transfer of legal ownership. The legal matrix of rights and liabilities shifts based on the movement of property. The physical location of the box on the left is secondary to the status of the title node on the right. Financial risk and legal rights do not follow the physical item. They are tied to the specific moment the invisible property transfers. The timing of this property transfer determines how the contract itself is classified. A sale is an executed contract where ownership of the goods transfers to the buyer immediately. An agreement to sell is an executory contract, where the transfer of ownership is scheduled for a future date or depends on specific conditions. The matrix shows different legal standing. A sale provides immediate authority, a right in rem against the world. An agreement creates a pending obligation, a right in personam against the seller. During insolvency, a sale requires delivering goods to the receiver. An agreement allows refusing delivery. The law categorizes the object being sold based on its status at the time of the contract to determine when ownership can move. Goods divide into three branches: existing goods, owned when the contract is made, split into specific goods, identified immediately, and uncertain goods, defined by description. Future goods are items not yet produced or acquired, like an unharvested apple crop. Contingent goods are a subset of future goods, where acquisition depends on an uncertain event that may or may not happen. This leads to the first rule of transfer. Ownership cannot pass until goods are ascertained and allocated to the contract. These statutory categories define the earliest possible moment that legal ownership can change hands. Once goods are ascertained, the exact moment of transfer depends on the intention of the parties, determined by the contract terms and their conduct. For specific deliverable goods, ownership passes immediately when the contract is made, regardless of price payment or delivery. If the seller must work to make goods deliverable or test them to fix the price, ownership passes only after that work is done. In a sale on approval, ownership passes upon buyer approval, performs an act adopting the transaction, or retains them beyond reasonable time. Identifying this moment is vital because of the risk rule. Risk follows ownership. The party holding the legal title bears the financial loss if the goods are damaged. If goods are destroyed before a contract is formed, the agreement is void because the subject matter does not exist. If destruction occurs after an agreement to sell, but before title has transferred, the agreement becomes void and the seller bears the loss. Physical possession does not dictate liability. The party holding the legal title at the moment of destruction is responsible for financial consequences. When transactions result in disputes over the quality of the goods, the law applies specific defenses to determine liability. The doctrine of caveat emptor, let the buyer beware, means sellers aren't responsible if buyers fail to examine goods. This is set aside if the buyer specifies a purpose and relies on the seller's skill, making the seller ensure fitness for that purpose. Exceptions also apply when goods are sold by description, or through trade usage, or when items involve food safety, requiring the goods to be merchantable and safe. If a seller actively conceals a defect through fraud, the buyer's duty to examine the goods is waived. The law expects buyers to be self-reliant, but shifts the burden to the seller when there is deception or a failure to meet a description. A different set of rules applies when the dispute is not about quality, but about the seller's right to sell the goods at all. The doctrine of nemo dat states no one can give what they do not have. Non-owners cannot transfer valid title. Thus, buyers of stolen goods do not acquire ownership. To protect commerce, exceptions exist. A mercantile agent can cast valid title. A joint owner in sole possession of the goods can also transfer full ownership to an innocent buyer without the consent of the other co-owners. Additionally, if a seller has a voidable title, like one obtained through fraud, they can pass a valid title to an innocent buyer, provided the original contract hasn't been rescinded. These exceptions protect innocent participants in the market and ensure that commerce can continue without every buyer needing to investigate a complete chain of title. The Sale of Goods Act serves as a deductive algorithm for resolving commercial liability. First, the goods are categorized. This step determines if the property is in a state where a legal transfer is even possible. Second, the rules of intention and readiness are applied to pinpoint the moment ownership, and therefore financial risk, moves from seller to buyer. Third, the transaction is screened through the doctrines of caveat emptor and nemo dat to verify quality claims and the validity of the title. To resolve a commercial dispute, the physical location of the goods is set aside. The solution is found by tracking the movement of the legal title.